Levinson, and welcome to Light On, Light Through, episode 389. My review of Dark Matter, episode 1.6, up on Apple TV Plus yesterday. And I thought the best line in that episode came from Jason 1 to Amanda 2 about their having visited, quote, a bunch of Chicagos, unquote. Oy vey. So far, none of them were too good. But that was only one of the many good lines in this episode, and the series has now progressed, in my never humble opinion, from excellent to outstanding. And here's the place I'll advise you about spoilers ahead. I'll bullet some of the best moments. Jason, too, gets Charlie one some ice cream with nuts, and Charlie has to be rushed to the emergency room where he's okay. I'm hoping this was just an accident and not something much worse. And I wouldn't put much past Jason, too. He does give his son, who's not really his son, an epinephrine shot, and that more than the hospital was actually, of course, the key to saving his life. But Daniela 1 is hit hard by this in any case, the worst in a list of events and characteristics, including flossing his teeth and leaving keys in the wrong place that's feeding her suspicion about Jason. Next, to top off Daniela's misgivings about Jason, too, he takes her to an art show where one of her paintings is hanging and she's moved to tears of fury because she wasn't finished with the painting yet, and the very last thing she wanted to do was to show it to the public. Next, but lest you think Jason, too, is a good guy, he strands poor Ryan in one of those infinite Chicagos. And next, here's the thing I really liked about this episode. Lots of time for Amanda 2 and Amanda 1. You know, she's a pivotal character, and Jason 1 may be falling in love with her. He's certainly a consummate gentleman, asking Amanda to leave their bed, though he'd certainly like to sleep with her in both meanings of that word. And last but not least, and at once high and low scene at the end of this episode, has Jason 1 following through on his vow to seal off or lock up his box/corridor to all of these alternate realities. No more access to that bevy of Chicagos. Well, I obviously thought this was a top-notch episode indeed, and I'm looking forward to its consequences in what's to come.
The Light on Light Through podcast.
And I hope you enjoyed that brief review of this latest episode of Dark Matter 1.6. I will be back here, of course, next week with another episode of Light On, Light Through. And you know what? I think I'm going to probably keep reviewing every single episode of Dark Matter. It's just too good to miss reviewing even one episode. And then, of course, there's lots of great science fiction on television. I just recently saw Dune Part 2, and I have to tell you, I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was even as good as the first part of Dune, but I'll talk about that when I review Dune Part 2, probably in a few weeks from now. And as I've mentioned previously, the Lazarus Project is coming back soon, a great, great time travel series. It's coming back to TNT here in the United States. And who knows who I might decide to interview, some little known or very known person, but always an important person in an interview here on Light On, Light Through. So I'll see you next week. In the meantime, stay safe, stay sound, and enjoy.
The Light on Light Through podcast.
Athens, 2042 AD. She ripped the paper in half, then ripped the halves, then ripped what was left again into bits and pieces of history that could have been. Sierra Waters had read once that, years ago, it was thought that men made love for the thrill, while women made love for the sense of connection it gave them.
Curled Up with a Good Book says, Sierra Waters is sexy as hell. You can find out more about The Plot to Save Socrates by Paul Levinson at theplottoSaveSocrates.com.
Your brilliant story, it's real life.
Paul Levinson's Silk Code, about an ancient biotech war raging on in secret for centuries.
Reading words from Paul Levinson's mind. His tales take the stage, leave the